When you look at me, what do you see? Just a man? Or perhaps you see a man that could potentially be extremely efficient at laying the long dick of justice down. The next John McClane, perhaps. John McClane is Bruce Willis's character in the Die Hard series. I don't know why I felt the need to explain that, but I feel like if you're not talking in memes on the internet, half the people just don't even understand what the fuck you're saying anyway. It's Die Hard, is what that reference was. What I'm trying to say is, at the streams I do at twitch.tv/moistcritical, we watch a lot of live PD. We make a lot of jokes about live PD. I talk a lot of shit about some of the officers and some of the shit on live PD. And now I have been formally challenged by my local police department to come do some of their police training. And do I look like the kind of man that's gonna back down from a fucking challenge like that? God, no.
So what do we do now?
We get out.
I'm out. Time! They came out as soon as they walked out.
Oh, it scared the shit out of me.
What the heck?
You let me down, officer!
You hard jump for a second?
No, I was calm the whole time.
Yeah, as you can see, my reflexes and reaction time would make even Google's quantum computer jealous and envious. Now, to give this some context, this exercise was to simulate a traffic stop and then not knowing what's going to happen. My partner is my good friend Andrew, or Hugbees on YouTube, and he's gonna have a video on this if you want to see it from his perspective as a 6'4" giant monster man. And obviously what happened is the two officers playing the criminals got out and went full nuts to butts action mode with their shotguns and just fucking blasted at us. Now, luckily my instincts kicked in and I went full fucking Jason Bourne mode on him. I ran behind the police car knowing that was the optimal position for cover, and Andrew knew the optimal position for cover was behind me. As you can see here in this picture, he's just sniffing my fucking asshole and hoping I absorb all the bullets until they run out. We weren't firing blanks. They just intentionally missed us, so likely I would have just been a pile of fucking meat on the ground if those were live rounds. I would have looked like a Gears of War chainsaw death, but they decided not to shoot us. I wasn't so merciful. What we had were tracer rounds or marker rounds, I don't remember, but it's like a modified plastic bullet where the tip has paint on it and it's a plastic tip instead of a metal one, so you're not just fucking executing people during training. And I returned fire and all of my shots were right on target. I'm like a fucking prodigy. 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. Show me where you hit him.
But if somehow he survived that.
Oh, where did we get you? Yeah. Oh, nice, nice.
Look at that shot.
Wow.
Orange out there, and then if you can see the sleeve area.
Wow. Oh, nice. Now, were you aiming away from us intentionally? Oh, I got that as well. Andrew, did you land anything?
Did you do it like
Oh, did you get him too?
Yeah, I got him in the collarbone.
Also,
right.
to recognize.
Not to flex too hard on all you pussies out there, but the guns only had 4 tracer rounds in them, and all 4 of my shots hit, 2 on each. If you were scoring that as a professional judge, if that was a competition, for example, that'd be a perfect score, no doubt about it. It's also important to note that I've been shooting a long time. It's not my first rodeo behind a handgun, and that didn't have nearly as much kickback as a normal gun. So, the odds were in my favor that I was going to be a deadly shot out here. But regardless, we would have died 15 seconds before I fired a single bullet because of the rapid amount of shotgun shells they were able to unload in my panic.
Are you okay? Time!
I thought it came from over here.
Did you actually get shot at?
No, it was in the car.
No, you looked everywhere but at the car.
Oh, it sounded like it came from over here.
Alright, so from the officer's perspective, what happened as you were walking?
2 gunshot sounds.
I think you reacted to the echo off the building.
So I couldn't get a visual on where the shots were coming from.
Okay.
Suspect ran away. I noticed that, drew my weapon, tried to hit him, and checked on the deceased.
Okay, so here's the important question. Was he a suspect, a victim, or a witness?
At that point, it wouldn't matter. I was just executing on the spot.
I am a great shot. Good shots. Yes.
Shot up there too.
So at least it won't be any question about whether or not it's going to be a murder trial. So.
Yeah, once again, absolutely perfect shots. I could shoot the pubic hair off a bumblebee from over 100 yards away. Needless to say, though, perhaps the decision-making could be called into question and my reaction time. In fact, I looked everywhere but where the shots actually came from, and then by the time I registered it, I just saw a man running, and at that point, it was like a fucking dog chasing a car. I was just coming after it, so I put him down. But man, did I put him down in style. All 4 of those shots hit right up on his upper back, like right around his neck. I fucking severed his spine with that shit. I was like a razor blade, a saw of bullets. But yeah, everything else I did there blew ass and was not textbook or protocol, I imagine. I guess one thing that this did teach me that I didn't think about is when a cop pulls over a car, it is pulling over a totally fucking random car. If I did that shit, I'd probably be terrified out of my goddamn mind. I can't even go up to a cashier and pay for stuff without thinking they're gonna try something fishy on me, so I guess that's amplified by 100 when you just pull over a car on the street. But that being said, while I might not be the best traffic officer, my god, could I be the best traffic assassin. Like, you know, let's say a cop did pull over a car and he's taken 3 hostages. He's got 3 children stacked on top of each other that he's using as a meat shield, and there's only a small opening underneath the armpit of one of the kids on top. I could probably squeeze a shot through there and get him right between the eyes. My marksmanship here, my sharpshooting, was remarkable, if nothing else.
The cars are on the way to bang into a door panel or inside. Yeah. Looking towards that flagpole out there, that's where the spin will be.
That's intense, Danny.
Yeah.
That's intense.
These Busch Gardens look like shit. The GoPro on though.
Are you guys switching?
Yeah. I want passenger seat. Do you not want in that one?
It's hard to tell. Pick my spot.
All right. You want me to wear the GoPro?
Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced that the officers here did a little scouting report on me beforehand, did their homework, and learned that I am very prone to motion sickness. I don't know how many of you knew that about me, but I get motion sick very easily. And one of the courses they did put us through here was their escape and pursuit tactics behind the wheel of a vehicle. That's often a point of jokes during live PD because some of the shit just looks super lame, like a child playing with Hot Wheels badly. But after being in there, I'm still going to make jokes about the pursuits on live PD occasionally, but man, after being in there, I realized I would not be able to survive that. I would be puking so goddamn hard, the criminals would win if they just made me do a simple donut or like a 4-point turn quickly. Because, my god, I was miserable after this little set of stunt driving Fast and Furious shit. I was just miserable for the time I was at the police academy. I was sick for the rest of the day. The 12 hours after this, I was just miserably ill. It fucked my stomach up. I felt like a bundle of assholes.
Wet roads you got to take into consideration the slippery, daytime and nighttime, your depth perception, fluctuation.
Make sure you get him barfing out the window.
Hopefully it won't come to
Let me
that.
turn this camera on.
Sounds like we're getting pretty close.
We haven't even started the first one yet. Gonna have an officer down.
Change the tone of that. There we go. Can you give up the direction of travel that we are going?
We're going north, down the back roads, east,
How fast are we going?
80 miles per hour, it
What
feels like.
What are the environmental conditions? Road, traffic.
Very high chance of me puking. Your days of selling bootleg anime are over. Jesus. Holy shit. Slow down, please. God.
My first corner of opportunity would be right here.
Oh,
The second officer
You're fucked
would be coming
now.
in from this corner. The other one would be coming from there. You quickly jump out of the car. Guns are drawn, screaming and hollering with all the siren noises.
We may have won, but I feel like I've lost. Oh. By the time this high-speed pursuit component rolled around, I was already damn near delirious from all the motion sickness. So when he handed me the radio, I thought it was for like the loudspeaker on the police car where I was, you know, talking to the criminals pull over and shit. Turns out it was only going to the other police car in front of us, so I was just telling the other officer my ailments and begging him to slow down and shit. I thought I was intimidating the criminals, but in fact I was just communicating with the other vehicle. Again, I would not fare well in a police chase at all, is what I learned from that experience there.
Charlie, you've watched so much live PD.
Oh yeah. I know all the rules of engagement, the Miranda rights.
I'm expecting you to talk her down fully.
I'm expecting to die a barrel roll.
He's gonna apply to be a police officer by the time I'm
Charlie,
done.
I want you to calm him down and make him subscribe to your channel.
The male is arguing with a mall employee and becomes aggravated when he sees you. That's all you get. All right? So you'll see it starting to count down in 3, 2, 1, and you'll be good to
When you
go.
sold me, it doesn't work. I can't call anybody, I can't text anybody. I mean, what the hell? What kind of business are you running in there? No.
Talk to
why
him.
should I calm down?
Hey, excuse me, sir. What seems to be the problem here?
Okay, I'm gonna come inside.
Sir, don't ignore me, sir. Don't ignore me, sir. You're really tempting my patience here, sir. What is this argument over?
I'm not spending another $500 on another phone.
Sir, come over here. Talk to me
Sir,
for a minute.
yeah, come step over here. Let's talk about those prices. Maybe we're on the same team.
Another phone. How about I bash your
Jesus!
business?
Just drop it! Ah! What kind of maniac brings a hammer to a mall? It's right on the money.
Oh.
Right there.
Oh, that's the spine.
Right after you got hit.
Oh, you had already gotten him.
I was leading my shot in case he jumped.
You shot his outline like a cartoon.
How quick did that happen when he pulled that hammer out?
That was lightning fast.
Very lightning.
This was the last exercise we got to take part in. It was their virtual simulator, which is just hundreds and hundreds of different scenarios with branching paths, like a fucking Telltale game mixed with Time Crisis, because your tasers, your handguns, your pepper sprays, they all have little lasers in them so you can see where you hit or if your taser even hit and shit like that. It was really interesting and really cool, and it all depends on what you say and how you handle the situation where it branches off to. Obviously, I chose the bad ending on this one with him bringing out the hammer. It's like a fucking WWE finisher, so I didn't handle it that well. But in my defense, he was ignoring me, but I also see why he would, because I'm 5'6", so I guess I wasn't that intimidating to him. But anyway, I was expecting to go in there and like defuse live bombs and shit, but just due to time and when we went, we didn't get to take part in all the extreme stuff. Either way, though, it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that they had us out there to do that. I'd say overall, I passed the course challenges. Maybe kind of, if you just disregard anything involving the police vehicles. I think I did pretty well everywhere else. But the second you put me behind one of those fucking spinning cars doing your stunts and shit, I'm fucked. But I'm gonna say I passed. That's it. See ya.